On behalf of the Dobbs Ferry Historical Society, welcome to this introduction to video interviews with distinguished historians David Hackett Fischer, Thomas Fleming, and Mary Sudman Donovan. My name is Richard Borko. I'm the village historian of Dobbs Ferry, and I'm also a trustee of the Dobbs Ferry Historical Society. In the interviews, the three historians will speak about Dobbs Ferry's historic river connections, and they'll put special emphasis on the Revolutionary War events that occurred in Dobbs Ferry and in the Hudson River area. In 2009, Congress, recognizing the great historic significance of Washington's and Rochambeau's march to Virginia, established the Washington-Rochambeau route as a national historic trail to be administered by the National Park Service. Two major turning points of the American Revolution occurred in the Hudson River Valley. The first was the American victory at Saratoga, north of Albany, in October 1777. In these interviews, historian Thomas Fleming explains how consequential the Saratoga victory was to the fate of our young republic. The second major turning point occurred at the side-by-side encampment of the American and French armies in Dobbs Ferry and neighboring localities in the summer of 1781. Here we have a map of the 1781 encampment, drawn by Louis-Alexandre Berthier, a French officer in Rochambeau's army. It was here, in mid-August 1781, that Generals Washington and Rochambeau made the decision to march their armies south in an attempt to trap Cornwallis's British and Hessian forces in the Chesapeake region of Virginia. David Hackett Fischer explains in the interviews that these two men gambled everything on a single choice when they turned their armies south towards Virginia, and that this was one of the great contingent moments in our history. For it led to the decisive American and French victory over General Cornwallis at Yorktown, and to unchallenged independence for the United States. Now let's see where these encampment locations are on a present-day road map. The Allied camps spread out across much of Westchester County, from Dobbs Ferry on the Hudson River, eastward into present-day Ardsley, Hartsdale, Edgemont, and White Plains. The Allied armies were camped side by side. For the most part, the Americans were positioned to the west of the Sprain Brook, and the French to the east. Two American units were stationed in Dobbs Ferry itself. One, Alexander Scamble's light infantry unit, number 6 on this map, was deployed on very high ground in the eastern part of Dobbs Ferry. In the interviews, David Hackett Fischer describes the role of the light infantry during the Revolutionary War. The other unit, Sheldon's Dragoons, also known as Sheldon's Horse, number 7 on the map, was deployed on the heights that overlook the Hudson River, at the Dobbs Ferry Redoubt, near the corner of Livingston Avenue and Broadway today. In the interview that follows, Mary Sudman Donovan describes the role of Sheldon's Dragoons during the war and at the encampment.